Comic-Con season 2026 is officially started. This is the first year that I've actually gotten a good head start on it. Ended up taking some time off of work. Went to MLB spring training down in Florida. Got a call from our friend Jeff over at Comic Spa, and he had found a couple of artists that he really wanted to go and talk to, get some exclusives from Megacon from them, and he was ready to get rid of some snow in his rearview mirror. So I was already in Florida. Most of you who know me and follow me know my wife's whole family lives in Orlando. So it's always an easy stay for me, an easy drive from here to get down there if I'm up here. And Jeff said he could make it. I said, if you can do it, man, I will meet you there. And we just decided we were going to go to day one of Megacon because he had some other stuff he wanted to do. And he and I wanted to just hang out for a day not at the con, where we could hear each other talk. We wouldn't have to be separated across the whole building and be in separate lines and that kind of thing. So it was great. We got connected up. We all got there on Thursday. I met up with him, and we got our parking. Actually, the day before, went and got the badges early. Sort of walked around the place a little bit and scouted out from above. They wouldn't let me in, but through the pictures above, I got these pictures that just shows how large it is. Now, one side, nothing but autographs that were there. Celebrities and that kind of thing were all basically on one wing, and then everything comic book related, any of that kind of stuff was on the other side, and it was pretty cool. This is the first time I've ever been to it. I've been to Collecticon there before in Orlando, much smaller deal than this. This was much higher on the scale for sure. So if you've never been to Megacon, I highly recommend you checking it out for sure. When I went, I only had a small stack of books that I knew I wanted to get signed. That was it. I really wasn't looking to pick anything up. If I found a good key, then great. But as far as digging through boxes and the normal shenanigans I get into when I go to Florida or whenever I'm out on the road for work or whatever, I'm out of room. I'm actually going through all the cabinets trying to figure out what am I really going to collect, what is my PC going to be from now on. So sort of tightened the wallet on anything else like that. Now, if I come across a really good key, something that's real special, I'll certainly make an exception if I can afford it, kind of thing. But for this trip was for autographs. I knew exactly what I wanted to do. And the first place that I went to as soon as we walked in the door was Carrie Andrews. I wanted to get his version of the Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion. I wanted to get that signed. This was my favorite cover of the year. I just love Spider-Man in the black suit for sure. The title, I'll be perfectly honest with you, I didn't continue to read after issue 2, I think. I might have read 3, but it didn't really grab me. But this cover, as soon as I got it, I knew that I was absolutely going to track him down at some point and get this book signed. So I'm very happy that I got that. And the guy himself, I mean, you talk about just, he had energy, and that was a thing about everybody that was here that I talked to. It was interesting that nobody really acted like they didn't want to be there. Sometimes you'll get in lines and people will be, you wait all that time to get up there, and it's not the interaction that you want. This was pretty neat because every other convention that you go to, the doors open at 10 or 9, and you'll have a lot of people that won't show up until 12 or 1 o'clock or whatever, But day one, we couldn't get in until 4 p.m. in the afternoon because we just had regular Thursday passes, no VIP, no nothing. So there were people that were in there earlier than us. But at 4 o'clock, we go in, and everybody's there. I mean, everybody that's going to be there on Thursday is there at their booth. So you're not standing in line just waiting for nothing. It's the person is there. You can see them, and they're going to get to see that person. For Carrie, the fun thing was I walked up, and at the time I caught it in the right window. There were 2 people in front of me, and I was able to just have as much time as I wanted with him. And it was really, really enjoyable to get to talk to him. And that was the first checkbox off of the list. The next thing that I ended up wanting to do, my number one goal for this entire trip was to meet David Pepose. and I'm a big Space Ghost fan, and I went ahead and stacked up a handful of Space Ghost #1 covers that I had laying around, and went and got them all signed. But not just for me. I've got one for me, and the rest of them I got signed to some of my friends that couldn't make it, and I'll hand those out to them when I run into them a little bit later on this year. But that was a big plus for me. This ties into the same thing I was saying about Kerry just a little bit ago. David Pepos, he was there. There was actually nobody at his table, which I was thrilled with. He talked about, we talked storylines, we talked other things that he was doing. He asked my opinion on, this change, and we talked about the numbering change on Space Ghost and all that, and his take on it. And while I didn't get a picture with him, he was wearing a mask. It was clear that he was trying to keep his distances, and so I didn't ask, didn't push or anything. But I had a really, really good, probably 10 minutes standing there talking to him, and he was working on some commission things, and so I wasn't going to take up the entire day with him. But to be able to have 10 minutes that wasn't rushed, it was exactly the interaction I always, it's what I always hope for. But for this one specifically, because I've been so hardcore in on the Space Ghost run, that I was really hoping it would go well, and it did. It was perfect. I could not be happier with that. That was amazing. The third thing and the final thing that was actually on my checklist to go to Megacon was to meet Mark Russell. And Mark Russell, if I can get these on the right hand, Mark Russell wrote Traveling to Mars. He's done a lot of other things, but I got in on reading this when I'll put a full screen picture of it here. I got into reading this with Greg over at Bearded Comic Bro. He has a book club, which if you'd like to be part of it, definitely reach out to him on Instagram at Bearded Comic Bro, and he'll get you added in. We do it over on Discord, and it's been a lot of fun. Reading things that I would have never read before. This one included. I had never heard of it, completely missed it. I missed the Kickstarter, and I've hated myself for it after I read this. And we ended up doing a Zoom call with, I think there was about 4 of us that were in that were able to attend that night on a Monday night with Mark. And when I went back to Megacon to meet him, I walked up to him, and he looks at me. He knows who I am, but doesn't know my name because everything just says Impressed on it. And we talked, and I was like, yeah, I was in the Zoom with you. And he's like, yeah, that's where I've seen you. And we talked, and I had a picture made with him. I thought something apparently happened to my camera, and I don't have that picture on my camera for some reason. But anyway, have the book, have the memories of talking to him. That was another solid 10 minutes at least of talking to him and just enjoying the book. If you haven't read Traveling to Mars, I highly recommend it. It hit me at the right time. I was looking for something good to read. I didn't want, superhero type thing. I wanted a story. I wanted something that could draw me in, and it was perfect. It was the perfect length. Read through it in probably 2 days, I think, or 2 nights before bed. Really good. So again, check it out. Traveling to Mars by Mark Russell. Highly recommend it. And Mark also has a new series coming out called Dog Tag, and that's going to be in May of this year. So the final order cutoff is in April of this year. So if you're interested in Mark Russell stuff, you hadn't heard about Dog Tag, check it out. It's going to be about a soldier from 1944 in the war. So that looks like it's going to be a pretty good one too. Left Mark's place, met back up with Jeff for a few minutes, and then wandered a little bit more while he was looking for somebody else. And wandering around, I ended up finding Sukesha Ray, who is also part of the comic book community. She's been on Chanko and Rich's podcast a couple of times, and she was really nice to meet. She's very polite, very friendly, very focused on you there as she's talking about her art and stuff. So I was happy to grab this Transformers print. I had seen it on the site and saw when she had posted it up, so I was hoping she'd have some in her booth, and she did. And she was nice enough to sign and pose her picture, and that was cool. She was great to meet. So while that was all that I needed from my autograph run. So I walked around a little bit more and noticed that my friends over at Flashpoint Comics and Games, they're out of Longwood, Florida. They just celebrated their, I think their 1-year anniversary, at their location. And Danny is the owner, and I found that he had a booth there at Megacon. Ended up talking to him, and he's always a great guy. He had a Absolute Batman number 7 that was signed by Scott Snyder. He had it up there on his wall, so we talked about it. We worked out a deal on it, and I went ahead and brought that home with me. I had no intentions whatsoever in buying really anything much, but Danny had it, and I'm a sucker for number 1, Absolute Batman. Yeah, I'm that guy. And for 2, I absolutely love supporting small shops, local shops. Flashpoint Comics and Games, they want to be part of the community in Longwood. I say Longwood, it's just like a fraction of an inch north of Longwood. But their anniversary that they had live bands that come in. They do a lot of gaming, get the gaming community in. It's just a really fun store to be around. It's nice to see them connected. And again, he's a great guy. I really enjoy talking to him, and will always support Flashpoint Comics and Games. And I hope if you have the chance, you'll do the same as well. After we talked to them for a while, I think it was we walked through the comic books, and honestly, there were 2 rows of comic books out of all of that, and that was it. I mean, there was a lot of books, sure, but I kind of, and this is unfair, but I kind of had the Heroes mentality in my head of 95% comic books in there, and Megacon is not that. Megacon is it's a portion, obviously, comic books, yeah, but there are lots of individual vendors, selling their prints and that kind of stuff, which is really fun to look at. There are some talented people, and it is amazing to know that some of these people have absolutely nothing to do with like the comic book, like they're not employed by comic book companies somehow. But watching them draw and seeing the stuff that they have for sale is always a treat, and it's amazing to me how many skilled and talented people there are out there. I can't get enough of that. There was, you got your Funko Pops. That's not my thing by any means. Lots of different things to collect that were all through the aisles. But again, 2 big solid rows of comic book vendors, and it was the greatest hits of people. There was a lot of the people that you see all around at different cons. So didn't pick up anything from any of those guys. Only the Absolute Batman signed book from Flashpoint Comics and Games. That was the only book that I ended up grabbing and bringing it back with me. So we shut down on that night. We hopped out of there. It closed at 9, so it was only open from 4 to 9 for us. And we got out of there, hit the shuttle, and went back to our parking lot. And that was it for day 1 for me. And then day 2, we were trying to figure out, I was going to be hanging out with Jeff again. Tried to figure out what time we wanted to get started, and I ended up picking him up around 10:30, I think, that morning. And we headed to Longwood, and we stayed up up there for a while. Went to Acme Superstore. Anybody that's in town, I always take them up there and show them that, along with Flashpoint now. And Acme, if you've never been there, it's got all the toys from your childhood, if you're young, your parents' childhood. In my case, my older brother's childhood as well. Everything's there, so it's really neat to see. Some stuff is more than I will ever pay for it, but it's really nice to actually see it again, sort of bring the memories back. So those places are a lot of fun to check out. We didn't stay in there very long. Went in there for 20 minutes maybe, and then jetted back out of there. There wasn't really anything that either of us were looking for. It was more just wanted to show him. And then we actually headed up to Flashpoint and checked out everything that Danny had in the store, and then Ash, who was running the store that day. Talked to them. That was great. Hung out, grabbed some new books off the wall. It's stuff that I've actually already gotten coming from my monthly order from DCBS, because I don't really have a local shop that I use out here. And so I didn't mind having duplicates, and again, wanted to buy a couple of books off the shelf and keep supporting the building. But yeah, that was the comic book run of it, really. We left there, we went and got something to eat, and we just hung out. Like I said earlier, it was nice to we just sat and talked. I mean, we were in the car talking. It was nice because during Megacon, it was pretty loud. There were a lot of people He was on one side of the building, I was on another side of the building a lot, so obviously there's not a lot of hanging out going on there. And we were both actually pretty beat at the end of it on day one too. So it was nice to have Friday to we just sit and went and grabbed a burger and some fries and just talked for we talked for a couple hours that afternoon, and then that was it. Jeff had some other things he was gonna do the rest of the day and then the next day. So I parted ways with him, and then it was family time for me the rest of the weekend. So that was a very fun weekend. I'm glad that Jeff got a chance to get free from up north and the winter that they were having up there. It's always nice to run into or be face to face with the people that you spend so much time talking to. And I think me and Jeff for the longest time would have a FaceTime video call most every week, if not every other week. That'd be it. So it's kind of cool. I mean, you already know the person, you know what to expect. You spent so much time talking and bouncing questions, opinions, and stuff back and forth on it. And it's always fun to have people that you can send pictures of hey, I'm working on this, hey, I fixed this, and you don't have to explain what you did. They know what you did. And it's the same way with Johnny at Johnny's Comic Stuff. That's always been fun. And Jim over at Improved Collecting, just being able to text these guys and just show them some of the stuff that got fixed, and everybody in that group, they really appreciate it and understand how much work and the accomplishment for actually getting it done. So that's pretty neat. But Megacon 2026, although it was one day, it ended up being a good full weekend for me. And the next thing on my list is going to be Heroes Con this year. It will be my backyard, so it's not a long drive up there. Really looking forward to that. Got a good many guys that are already giving the thumbs up that they're heading into town, so that's going to be cool. And I've got some other big news, some videos that I'll be filming, if not this week, early next week, and we'll get it up to let you know what's going on with Impressed and where we've been the last couple of months, and understanding how much fun I'm having. This has been great. I'm really enjoying life. Impress Comics has been a dream come true in every facet. It's exceeded all of my expectations. I'm extremely happy with where it's at and where it's going. And a lot of it has to do with a couple of books that are hanging up over here. But anyway, I hope that you are doing well. I hope that you have had a great start to 2026. I know we're almost blowing through March here, which is just crazy. But I do hope you're doing well. I look forward to catching up with you soon. If you ever need anything, reach out to me on Instagram, and I will definitely get back with you. If you have any questions, anything fun to talk about, tag me in it. It's great. I like being connected to everybody, so it's good. I hope you have a great rest of the day, and I will definitely be talking to you soon.